No fucking way. Unbelievable. What a fucking finish. No way. Unbelievable. No, the double cross. The double cross from Paul Heyman. Unbelievable scenes here at WrestleMania 41. Unbelievable scenes. The Wise Man betraying Roman Reigns, betraying CM Punk, holding hands with the devil, Seth freaking Rollins. Oh, unbelievable scenes.
What is up, everybody? Welcome yet again. We are back. I keep saying that because we take some hiatuses, but we are back with our favorite and your favorite wrestling podcast, Lucha House Show Podcast. That's at podcast.luchahsp on Instagram and Lucha HSP on YouTube and Spotify. I'm Mars, the voice of violence, as always, joined here at ringside by my colleague, the former dreadlocked demon, Cero Miedo, Rowdy Rod. Um, we've got a lot to talk about. It's been a while, and the reason why it's been a while is because I sprung a little surprise on my colleague here
Yeah.
and sent him a photo from Las Vegas Airport when I went to WrestleMania 41. Yes, I made the wrestling fans pilgrimage yet again to the Super Bowl of professional wrestling that is WrestleMania, and we'll talk about that. We'll talk a bit about my experience and the WrestleMania night one and night two in general. We've got a whole stack of things to talk about. We're going to talk post Mania thoughts. We've got the Raw and SmackDown post Mania, which a lot of stuff's been happening there. The season starts again, storylines start again, they start evolving, slow burns start cooking. We're going to talk some WWE releases that occurred in May. We're going to talk WWE acquiring Triple A, which is massive news coming out of
That's
Mexico.
huge.
We're going to talk a bit about Backlash, and we're going to give you our views and speculation on where we think some storylines are heading. We'll also touch on Will Ospreay, who's been mouthing off again about WWE, and we're going to mention, well, Rod is, because I don't really follow AEW. Rod's going to talk a little bit, if we have time, about Kenny Omega challenging Xavier Woods to a match. But it would be remiss of us if we did not start off this show with some sad news and just some personal reflection on the man that is the suicidal, homicidal, genocidal Sabu, who left this earth earlier this week. And Rod, I'll let you have a go first, mate. Just give us your memories of Sabu and what he meant to you in terms of your pro wrestling passion and love for the sport that we spend time talking about.
I think one word extreme. I think that's what you gotta call Sabu, man. He went out in extreme. He went out in the last match in a bloody match against Joey Janela, 3 weeks, 2 3 weeks before he passed away. So, he went out as he came in to wrestling, which he was with crazy, just fearless, crazy matches and just like bloody matches. He was crazy. He was just nuts. I think that's what we take away from Sabu. Just the king of just destruction. He will put his body on the line. And he showed in the last match he had. Like Joey Janela was the one that was lucky enough to have the last match with him before he passed away. A lot of controversial around him, which I don't know if you want to talk about it, but that's pretty much for me, man. That's it. Just extreme. That was Sabu, man. Just all out extreme
Yeah,
from beginning to end.
absolutely. For me, well, first of all, let me say that I had no idea that Sabu's last match had been booked at a GCW event, Joey Janela's spring break in Las Vegas, and I was there and I didn't go, and that makes that decision even, well, it wasn't really a decision because I wasn't aware that it was on, but that
Mm,
makes me regret it even more. What's happened now this past week? My introduction to Sabu, if you'll indulge me for a couple of minutes,
go for it.
was many years ago. I was at the local markets. I was at Fairfield Markets, place you're familiar with, Rod,
Jesus
before you
Christ.
moved up north. And I, I lived across the road, so I would go there regularly just to see what I could find. And turns out this bloke was there selling ECW DVDs, which was, I was like, what the hell is this? So
Mm,
anyway, he had six of them, and I bought all six of them. I can't remember which ones they were. It might have been barely legal, guilty as charged. I can't really remember.
yeah.
But one of them had my introduction to Sabu, and what an introduction it was! It was the Sabu versus Terry Funk no ropes barbed wire match, which was just
Oh,
a bloodbath in brutality. It was the one where they had to get cut. The barbed wire had to get cut off them after the match because they were all wrapped up in it. It wasn't gimmick barbed wire. It wasn't rubber tooth barbed
Ah,
wire.
that's
It was
not.
real
Yeah.
barbed wire. And to me, I thought, who is this crazy man? Like, I knew who Terry Funk was from back in the day,
Mm.
WWF days, but I had no idea who Sabu was. And from then on, like, Sabu just became synonymous with extreme. The stuff he did out of Japan was crazy. He was doing stuff 20, 30 years ago that is normal now.
Yeah.
Tables, jumping into like off the top rope into the crowd. That stuff wasn't happening back then. He was just way ahead of his time. His gimmick was like he stuck to his gimmick. He was fantastic, and he'll be sorely missed. And he was only I think 60 years old,
He
but
was
man, he had a rough life. Like
61. Well, he did, that's a big controversial in the last match because he was on kratom. That's the what is the saying it is, which is
Mm.
a drug that releases pain, all stuff, but it's also used a lot to get as from the withdrawals from opiates. So
Oh, okay.
so
Mm.
he was using. So apparently, George Janela said it like Sabu's team. What they did, they give him like a lot of kratom before the match just to get through the pain. And
Well,
if you watch, like at
mate,
one point, he goes through like if you watch a match, at one point he just goes put bottom rope, slides
yeah,
through, bang straight into the ground, and he apparently he lost consciousness at that point. And then he'd regain it to finish the match,
yeah,
but he was completely out. So I just there was a lot of controversial what happened during that match, but that
yeah.
was Sabu,
It's really,
anyways.
it's really sad, and wrestling has lost a great this past week. So rest in peace, Sabu. Fingers up
See.
to the sky,
CM
original
Punk did a
Sheik
massive
style.
they did a bit of a tribute to him this past
Yeah, mm,
a Raw when he actually
yeah,
just went like this and people just went
yeah.
nuts in a old CM Punk fashion.
So let's move on to the event that was WrestleMania 41 in Las Vegas,
How,
Nevada.
how's being there, man? Just part of the surprise of being like you, like I can't believe you there. I was like fucking awesome, I was so happy. I'm like
I booked that months ago, and it took every fiber of my being not
not
to
to say
blurt it out.
anything. You did a good job, mate. You do.
No,
But
look,
yeah,
it's fantastic. Look, I went 2 years ago to LA, as you know, and,
yeah,
and it was different. It was like that was my first WrestleMania, so that was like a childhood dream come true. This one I knew what to expect when I walked in because I'd already been to it. But the
yeah.
the biggest difference was, and I'll talk about the pricing, which was insane. But
Oh, it
anyway,
was ridiculous.
the biggest difference between LA and Vegas is that LA's a big place. So you didn't get the feel that there was a massive wrestling event until you got to the wrestling event. Las
Mm,
Vegas is a lot smaller. Everyone's in the same spot. So you would be walking up and down the strip and you would see wrestling fans. You would see wrestling fans with shirts on. Like you'd see someone with a CM Punk shirt and you'd go like that and they'd nod their head. Or you'd
yeah,
see someone
same.
with a Jay Uso shirt and you'd go yeet and they'd
Yeah,
yeet back. And
yeah.
it was just, I was walking around with an SCW shirt and I was getting compliments.
Oh,
So
sick.
it was a place that was full of people that understand what we love and why we love it. And
Yeah,
you don't have to put up with the bullshit questions. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It was fantastic. It was just a good vibe. And the stadium itself, like I'm a Raiders fan, as you know,
yeah.
Las Vegas Raiders. So for me to have the opportunity to go to the new stadium to see like something I love, not the Raiders, but something I love more than the Raiders, which is professional wrestling, was fantastic. It's a great stadium. It's a great setup. I was really high up. I was like on the third tier,
But you can still
but because
see.
you could see perfectly, you
Yeah, I
could
know.
because it's like that. It's on a really steep slope,
Yeah.
and you could see perfectly. I mean, I'm shit scared of heights, so when I got there, I was like, "Oh, I was like, what is this?" But no, you get used to it, and to be one of 60,000 people yeeting is just
Jeez,
insane.
that entrance,
It was
man.
just, and you're just talking, and there was heaps of Aussies there. I bumped into heaps of Aussies. I went to the SmackDown before Mania, and I went to the Raw, but after
As
Mania,
well.
and both times I was sitting next to Australians,
I was full of flags,
different
man.
ones, different ones.
I was watching
Yeah,
it. You can see just Aussie flags all over the
yeah.
place. It was crazy.
It was full of Aussies, which was great. But Mania itself being there is unbelievable. It's just a massive, massive production. No cost is spared. I went to WWE World, which was great. I was on the Pat McAfee show. If you watched that episode,
Yeah.
I'm right up the front. I'm doing all this bunch of stupid shit. I got dark sunglasses on, and I got a fist pump from Stone Cold Steve Austin. So
So
my,
loving life.
my life's complete. But it was a look in terms, and we will get into the matches. I mean, for me, again, it was another dream come true,
Mm.
another tick on the bucket list. I have now promised my wife that I'll give it a rest for a bit in terms of going to WrestleMania, unless it's in Miami. If it's in Miami, different story.
Fair enough.
But what? Let's get into night one. Uh,
Night
Give
one.
me your thoughts on night one.
Look, there's a lot of stuff happening. First of all, on the kickoff match, we got told that WWE just bought Triple A, which was a kickoff match, and we were like, "What the fuck?" Which I thought we talked about it for a while, saying there might be a partnership stuff like that. I did not expect WWE to buy it. I thought TKO
Yeah,
maybe, but not actually WWE itself. Because it wasn't like TKO bought AAA, it was like WWE bought AAA.
yeah,
Massive, we had Vikingo there, which was great. We had, of course, Stephanie Baker, La Primera. She was
yep,
there. A lot of, Penta was there. Like all the Mexican wrestlers were there. They were so happy. And then we got told also it was going to be the Worlds Collide with NXT on June 7th, the night before uh, Money in the Bank.
yep.
So it's
Correct.
just to start with that, I was already like, whoa, fuck, this is massive. Like it's already huge, crazy stuff. And then we get to the beginning, just Jey Uso. It was the massive hype. You said it, he was gonna win it. He won it in what a fashion.
Made him
Great
tap.
match.
Made him tap.
Made him tap.
Yeah.
It was great
Mm.
match. You wanna go run to the like matches really fast, or what do you wanna do?
Yeah. Well, like I mean, whatever you want to do, you're in control here, mate. But if you wanted to, I don't even think we need to go through all the matches. But if you want to, or
I
just
got
give me
notes,
what you thought.
bits and notes about it. Like for example,
Yeah. Yeah.
like the tag team match. New Day wins the tag titles as a heel. You know, um, Naomi. Hi- Did you enjoy Naomi's new entrance?
I do. I did. Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy,
I
eh?
like Naomi's new whole new gimmick.
Absolutely
I love it.
fucking loved it. I
I
was
love
as
the
soon
whole
as I
new
heard that
gimmick.
metal music coming in, I was like,
I never
oh
liked
my
that. I
god.
never liked that glow with that EDM, like that dance music bullshit. I never liked that. I reckon this is her. This is. I reckon she's great as a heel.
Oh yeah, he's doing a great job as a heel. It's
Yeah.
crazy. I couldn't find the song, but it was great. And Jake Cargill, man, he did a great transition, did a massive finish. The match was a bit erratic at times,
Mm.
but still good. LA Knight showing up in a Maserati, and then Fatu just killing the shit out of LA Knight. He just destroy him. It was like
Jacob Fatu is getting some major pops. Like
massive,
Las
man.
Las Vegas was a massive hill city.
Yeah,
Massive
I know.
hill
Like
city.
that, I
Yeah.
think that's what we should talk about.
Mm,
There was a massive heel city. We
mm.
got Dirty Dom winning the title, and people actually cheering for him in the post
Oh,
match.
everyone was cheering. I went to the Sam Roberts podcast live at the Comedy Cellar on the Wednesday before Mania, and
Yeah,
Dom was the guest. I was right up the front, and I showed him my Rey Mysterio tattoo, and he was like, "This guy's got dead brain cells. What are you doing?"
yeah.
But and everyone was cheering him. Then
It's
everybody's cheering him.
crazy. It's a massive
Yeah.
heel, which I kind of threw off a little bit WWE
Mm.
because they weren't expected this massive pop,
No,
especially for John Cena, which was
yeah,
nuts. But look, massive heel city. People was loving it. Fatu wins. Then we got the Grand Americano winning against Ray Phoenix, which was look, I'm getting sick of the Grand Americano. But
I won't
apparently,
get.
Triple A
Yeah.
is asking for the Grand Americano to be in the fucking. So I don't. I'm really got mixed feelings with this because I don't like it. They're taking the piece out of it, but
I
for some
understand what you're
reason,
saying. Yeah,
the Mexicans are loving it.
yeah.
They actually asked for the Grand Americano. So I don't know how to take this. It's for me just too weird. I don't like it. I think they're taking the piece out of everyone, but for some reason they're loving it.
They're loving it. It's
They
mate.
love the
It's
gimmick.
getting big. And
They're getting big.
Chad Gable got to his WrestleMania moment. And talk about Ray Phoenix being in the
No,
right
El
place,
Grande
right time.
Americano. El Grande
Sorry,
Americano.
El
Come
Grande
on,
Americano.
come on, man,
Talk
get it right.
about Ray Phoenix. What an opportunity! He's just come into the company and he gets to,
Right.
fight in front of 60,000 people at WrestleMania.
Oh,
Unfortunately, due to Ray's injury, but still, what an opportunity! And mate, he grabbed it with both hands.
oh, he killed it. People massive pop. You know, we
Mm.
saw videos of Penta just crying at the back when he saw his brother just debuting, which was beautiful. But yeah, no, it was grand. Like it was great. Grand Americano won. And then I think one of the last matches of the night was Tiffany against Charlotte.
Yep.
Wow, Charlotte looks really bad. He
She
just
doesn't. Yeah, it's something about her. She doesn't look like her.
nah. He just
Mm.
uh, she's like kind of using Stephanie Baquet's moves, which people is booing about it
Yeah.
a lot. And then
And like
she
Stephanie said, there's a
is
there's a big difference.
there's a big difference between both of them, which is on top of that. Let's talk about Stephanie Baquet. She retained the title. She's in,
Oh, we'll get to that. We'll get to
in
that on the
oh,
Raw after Mania. Huh.
and she's getting beautiful by the day, bro. Fuck me,
Don't let don't
crazy.
don't let your
Sorry, sorry.
Chileanness.
Come on.
Yeah,
La primera, man. La primera. We gotta be proud.
I cheered her,
Um,
mate. I cheered her. I was so glad I got to see her in action,
oh,
in live.
crazy.
Yeah,
But look, Tiffany retains. She got a bit of a chip tooth, and then we got told that Backlash was gonna be at St. Louis, which is gonna be a little bit, and then we get to the main event,
wow,
which which
wow.
which wow, which wow, and what a promo from from CM Punk, man. What a promo.
Yep.
What a fucking promo.
Man,
With the music and
that,
people singing. I'm pretty sure you sang along. It
yeah.
was not
Oh,
fan
of
that
course I
didn't sing
did.
along
Of
to
course
Kill
I sang
Switch.
along.
Um, but a massive one, and just the match itself was amazing. And the big part was Roman Reigns getting to the match by himself.
Yes.
That was crazy.
Mm.
That was just wow. You know, like it's crazy what everyone's been talking about it. You know,
Yep.
everyone's saying it.
Everyone. Yeah. Everyone left that first night like, wow, we just watched history in the making. We just watched something that is gonna be spoken about for years to come. That's the feeling that was there live in that arena.
That
And
ending.
as you know, I'm a massive Paul Heyman guy, and the evil genius has come through yet again. At first, I was like, "What the fuck?" And then I sent you that recording.
Yeah.
I needed you to get that recording,
That
like my
recording is
feelings straight
gonna
away.
be starting
Yeah,
this episode. Don't worry. So people
yeah,
already heard what you're
yeah.
talking about.
Because I was like, I need to say this while it's still fresh in my mind, while I'm still like, wow, what did I just
Oh,
witness? And the fight itself, look, the fight itself that made that first night.
yes.
The undercard was all right, but it wasn't like overwhelmingly great like you'd expect the
Yeah.
WrestleMania to be. But that final fight, that
That
triple
main
threat
event was
match made that
amazing.
cut. And for me, that made WrestleMania 41.
Oh
That
yeah.
that should have that was the real main event for me.
Yeah. For me, it was. I think that was you couldn't top up it up. You couldn't top it up.
No,
There was no
no,
way, and it makes sense that you couldn't top it up
yeah,
because I saw WrestleMania 40 was WrestleMania 40. WrestleMania 40, cierto? Yeah, 40.
yeah,
WrestleMania 40 was the ending to a lot of stories.
yes,
WrestleMania 41 was the beginning
the beginning exactly.
of many stories, which is this one was one of them. And
Hmm.
I was like, for me, for a while with Paul Heyman, I knew something wasn't right. That you couldn't tell because why? The big difference. Paul Heyman didn't had a 10. His hair was fine, so he wasn't
Yeah,
stressing out. So you
no,
already knew that something wasn't feeling right at this point. And other things what people pointed out, like he was holding back teeth when he like he hit CM Punk, but when he hit Roman Reigns, he was so happy.
yeah,
He just loving life when he did it. Like he was just like, fuck you, you left me. You know when he
yeah,
had we did
yeah,
that promo with Jay, and you just let it
mm,
all out. You
yeah.
understand? He was right.
He
He
was
was
right.
he was right,
He did. He
100%.
did. He did let him get powerbomb through a table at Madison Square Garden. Where was he?
Exactly. And we said it many
Mm,
times. Where was Roman
mm,
Reigns? So at
mm,
some point that was going to be beating back in the
mm.
ass. But that ending was just everyone. You were there. Everyone was like, "What?" We knew something was going to happen. We knew how.
Yeah, but we
And,
just
and
didn't know how, and that Like
Yeah,
everyone was literally, what the fuck is going on here?
and he's just like crazy finish. Roman Reigns just like didn't know what to do.
No.
Um, and CM Punk's the same. Both of them just like,
Yep.
what do I do now? Like,
Yeah.
what did
That
just
was
happen?
that was
Um,
sensational. It was a
great
great
night,
main event. Great main
great
event.
night one. And
Yeah.
and with that we finished with a lot of people was like, okay, what we go to night two now? Because
Yeah.
night two, it just you felt like there was nothing was gonna top it up. Did nothing was
I
gonna top up
felt
night one.
no, I felt that they set the bar very, very high. But I was also waiting like 59,999 other people in that stadium to hear the words "if you smell," and they
A
never
hundred
came,
percent.
and they never came. But we'll get to that. Well, let's go
But it
through the
makes
second
sense.
night.
Yeah,
Yeah.
coming to second night,
But they
it
set the
makes
bar really high, and they'd
yeah.
already had us on this journey. The Rock said to enjoy the journey that the Rock was going to take us on. So we're like, okay, drive the bus, Rock. Where are you going to take us to?
But the Rock's still driving. That's the point.
But he should have been driving that night.
He
But anyway,
doesn't
we'll
need
talk
to.
about that.
He doesn't
We'll
need
talk
to.
about. I know he doesn't need to. I know, and
And he didn't for a reason, but we don't want to talk about
yeah.
that.
But let's
It's
talk night
Stephanie.
two.
Stephanie, that's the welcome to WrestleMania, which was
Mhm.
great to see Stephanie
Yes.
doing the welcoming, which is we haven't seen in a while,
Mhm.
which was really good. Oh fuck, we didn't even talk about the Hall of Fame. Anyways, I don't think we got
Oh,
time
we
for
don't have
that.
time to talk about that.
Uh,
That's
that Hall of Fame was something else. Um, there was shitload of booze for Bianca Belair, man. People was booing Bianca
hmm
Belair.
yeah,
Um, she came out with a stepdaughter and stuff like that. People was kind of neutral with Io Sky, still happy. But when Rhea Ripley comes out, man, oh my
massive pop. Always,
god,
always.
mommy comes out and she the just the place went down.
Mm.
And that match was beautiful, man. Io Sky wins in the best way possible, which was pinning Bianca Belair. Absolutely great match. Great
Yeah,
way to start night one.
perfect way to start.
Perfect
Massive,
way. Perfect way.
massive, massive match. All three top shelf performers. All three put on a great show. I was a little bit disappointed that Rhea didn't win. I'll tell you the truth.
Mm.
But I have a lot of time for Sky. I'm a massive fan of hers. I think she's. I won't say she's underrated anymore because she's finally getting the props
Oh, it's
that
finally getting the
she
push, yeah.
deserves. And mate, she got a pop. Don't worry about that. And her whole family
Oh,
was
when
there,
she
so she
won,
had
yeah,
her. Yeah, she had her WrestleMania moment, and it's well deserved.
100%. No, it was a great match. And then, in the moment, you're like, the Sin City match. And then we go, Kerry King is doing
Yeah,
the
I was like,
entrance.
is that? I was like, is that fucking Kerry King? Is that
I'm like,
what?
what? And that's the solo for Damien Priest entrance, man.
Mm.
You could see Damien Priest's face.
Yeah.
He
Well,
was
he's a
so
massive like.
happy.
Look at his finishing moves like South of Heaven. That's a Slayer album.
Oh, on top of that, I fucking forgot CM Punk living in colors live.
Oh, of course. Yeah, yeah, of course.
Oh
Yeah, yeah.
man, that was great. Anyways, CM Punk just hold back tees on top of that.
Mm.
At the beginning of that, he was holding back tees because
Yeah.
he was having this moment. Anyways,
But the
back to
Priest McIntyre match was a great match too, man.
was
Like
really
they
good.
just fought everywhere. I love the street fight. Love it in Mania. It was a
How
great
about
bout.
McIntyre flying from the mat to from the on top of the top row and just going straight to Priest, man? I didn't expect
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
That
No,
just took me by surprise.
they've always put on a brilliant performance. And Drew McIntyre had to win that match. No, I don't think it would have made sense if Damien won it.
Mm. So that was pretty good. And then we get the SmackDown Live event to be confirmed in Perth, Australia. And now we know is the Crown Jewel, which is going to be down in Perth, which we're trying to get the tickets for. And we hopefully we're going to be there. If you get the tickets, I'm down. Already said that.
Mhm.
So yeah, we got another main event in Perth, which is freaking great, Australia. From there we got the four-way title match between who do we had? Bron
Dirty
Breaker,
Dom,
Dirty
Braun
Dom,
Breaker,
Finn Balor, and Penta El Cero Miedo.
Little Miedo.
Carlitos
We
gets
both picked this
involved.
one. We picked it. We picked that Dom was going to do something to Finn to win the fight,
Yeah,
and that's what
and
happened.
he did. He took it off
Mhm.
Finn. He
Yeah.
won it. But bro, how about Carlitos is dead when Bron Breaker
yeah,
just feels sick?
yeah.
Oh man, and Bron Breaker tried not to laugh. when they
Yeah.
say that, he was
Yeah.
right there and he says, Carlitos is dead, Carlitos is dead. And Bron Breaker is like trying not to laugh so hard because he just goes pay like no tomorrow because not 2 weeks ago, he gets the massive speed when you can see just you see Bron Breaker flying.
Broke him in half.
He's not even he fly hits him and then like backflip and stands up. Like it just his speeds are getting so much better on Breaker.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
deadly, absolutely
Yeah.
deadly. And then we got Dirty Don't Win it and just getting a pop he was not waiting for, getting
No.
out of the ramp and then just running back in and people even crazy.
What happened was like he won the belt, he ran up the ramp. I'm like, all right, he's gone, he's leaving, so I'm going to go to the toilet. I
Yeah.
didn't see him run back. I was like, what the hell?
Oh shit! Yeah, that
Because
just
I'll tell you. Here's an interesting point. WrestleMania 41 was the first event I've ever been to, wrestling or any other concerts or anything like that, where the lines for the men's toilet were longer than the lines for the women's toilet.
that's funny. Oh,
But
that's
no,
hilarious.
he won it, and there was a massive pop. He's huge. He's
Massive.
so over. He is so over
Yeah.
that they're gonna inevitably have to turn him face. But he maintains kayfabe. He never breaks kayfabe.
Yeah, he's one of the
Never.
few. He's one of the
Yeah.
few. This continuous KFL to the
Yeah.
end, which is great. I
Mm.
think it's
No,
like
I
well
love it. It's
deserved.
great.
I think he's been growing a lot into wrestling, and his character. He's became his own person, which is absolutely awesome because to come out of the shadow of being, Rey Mysterio's
That's
son,
all a massive shadow, man. Oof.
it took him. It did, and it's funny because it didn't take him that long. That means it that shows how much of a character, how much of a wrestler he's to be able to do
Yeah.
that. And now he's being
Yeah.
champion. Still going with the story with Liv Morgan. Something's gonna
Mm.
happen there. With Finn Balor, as well. So you know something's happening there.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, that was crazy. I did not expect it. I don't think anyone did.
For me,
But
that was the fight of the night. For me, that was the fight of the night too.
yeah, I think the same.
Yeah.
I couldn't fight that up. I think it was a great match, and that's awesome. And then we got a Randy match coming up, 20th
Oh,
WrestleMania,
mate.
and then you say
What a
his name.
surprise.
He up, and you know what? And I deleted it, and I regret it because as Randy Orton comes in, I was typing, "What if he? What if Joe Hendrick comes in?" I was typing it, and then I'm like, "Nah, I'm not gonna send it."
You said his name and he appeared, mate.
Oh man, like he just I said his name. I typed it and he appeared.
That's what
And just
happens.
the massive pop he got when he appeared,
Yeah.
I was like, people were just absolutely going crazy. He had a really good show match with Randy Orton. Um and just the moment that Randy Orton just hits the Ico at the
Yeah.
perfect moment when Joe Hendricks turns.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. And then he does and then
Yeah.
Randy Orton does it. He turns and he does his post and he laughs.
Yeah.
And apparently the Randy Orton actually asked for him.
Yeah.
Asked
Well, that doesn't
Randy Orton.
surprise me.
Yeah,
What an opportunity. What a fantastic opportunity. And he grabbed it with both hands and he did really well. That was a
Jo-
great that was a great moment.
and Joe Hendricks said even though like CM Punk grabbed him at the back and he said,
Mm.
"Look, it couldn't be any better. Like you
Yeah.
did perfect. Like you
Yeah.
won the time you had to do. You do had to do that. Like this is great. Amazing.
Exactly.
That's it. It couldn't. It shouldn't be any longer, any shorter than what it was. So
Mm.
Joe Hendricks killed it, and with that we go into the promo for the Money in the Bank, which is gonna be LA, which Scott told it was gonna be. Oh, it's gonna be after Collision. We got AJ Styles against Logan Paul. Well, whatever. Kieran Cross gets involved to have Joe Logan. Logan wins, and reaction people just went flat dead. Nothing
Yeah,
happened.
it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't. But for me, the best thing about this was Karrion Cross's involvement.
Yeah, that was
And
crazy.
I don't know if
Uh,
you've seen the promo that he cut on on the Raw recap pod.
oh
Oh,
man, he's
mate,
getting
that's
so big. His shirt is number
good.
one at the moment,
His merch is number one. Yeah,
and he has to
yeah.
like. But I
But
said,
mate, we have been saying this for months, years. We were saying this when Renzo was still here
yeah,
doing the program with us. We were saying they need to push this guy. They need to push this guy.
but and I said we said it before. He's been
Mm.
building for a while
Yeah,
this story, so he's been placing the seats everywhere. So
Yeah.
he's gonna be. I think, and I've said it before. I think he's the next big story that's gonna take off after the bloodline stops.
For
He's
me,
Kieran Cross.
for me, he is this year's Money in the Bank winner.
It'll be great if he is.
Mm.
Well, but we'll see. Hopefully he
I'm
is.
not saying I'm not saying he'll have a successful cash in. He's going to be the Money in the Bank winner.
All right. Well, fuck, that's way in advance. But okay,
Mm.
good to know. And then we got this. Look, we got enough time to talk about this before it cuts off, and we go into the
All right.
last night.
Mm.
WWE Unreal, the new series, which talks about what's happening backstage
Oh, you want
in
to talk about that?
WWE.
You don't want to talk about the rest of the matches?
We got two matches to go, and
Got two matches to go.
a bit of minutes to go before it cuts off. So I want to give it a bit of time to the last match.
All right.
So we'll go for a pause. We go for the last match, and then we go into the rest of the stuff. But why the reason I want to talk about this? I was happy about it. I'm like, fuck, this is great. You know, we always wanted to know how things happen in the world. And then they start showing up to what's happening to this WrestleMania. And that's what I'm really not happy about. I'm like, it's okay if you want to pull off the curtain.
Yep.
That's fine. But things that happened 20 years ago,
Yep.
15 years ago, I'm okay with that because it just happened. But don't do it now. Why are
Yep.
you doing this now when the story is still happening? We're still trying to make this believable. You still gotta try to make people engage. How are you gonna get people engaged if you're showing what's happening behind closed doors? You know what I mean? You're killing it. I don't
I,
understand why WWE is doing this at this point and Hunt is so behind it. I'm really in the fence with it.
I was feeling the same until I heard Sam Roberts talk about it. And basically, he said words to the effect of that maybe it's good in a way that it'll bring like people that, consider this, people that use the F word when it comes to professional wrestling,
Yeah.
they will really see what goes into creating a professional wrestling show, creating the product that WWE creates, and they'll see it as it's happening now. I'm not a big fan of putting the curtain back all the way either, unless there's been like you said, a certain amount of time has passed. And that's what, and even The Rock, I think that's what explains The Rock
Yeah.
doing that interview that he did with
Which I
Pat
don't like
McAfee.
either. Or
I didn't
even
like it. I
Triple
didn't
H.
like it
And
either.
Triple H. Triple H
Yeah,
has been doing the same.
I didn't like it either. But to me, that all goes to promoting this WWE Unreal, which of course we're all going to watch it because we watch any wrestling product.
That's 100%.
Yeah, but it's great. But I do feel uneasy about it, like you do as well. And like it's like, do you remember years ago there was this guy called the Masked Magician, and
Yeah.
he would reveal how all these like illusions were done. And when you see how they're done, how simple it is, and how like how can we not see it before? It's like, oh man, some of the magic's gone. I don't want the magic to go from professional wrestling.
Me neither. And that's the thing. Like, I get your point in some Roberts of like, oh, this kind of show people, but they haven't done it and the progress have still grown.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the point. Like, they haven't done it all this time.
Mm.
And look how much the product has grown.
Mm.
Why you need to do it when clearly shows that this is just a growing on
Yeah.
thing. It's global. Everyone's watching it. Why you need to bring more people in that they're gonna fall in love at some point with it because it's shown through the years. You know what I mean? So it
And
just
we as wrestling fans, we're also very protective of our baby, of what we love. So,
exactly. It just like
but you know what? And it kind of goes against what Triple H has said as well recently, where it's like, stop criticizing the product, don't look at it critically, just enjoy it, watch it. But if you're going to open up the curtain that much, that leaves it open to like analysis and critical criticism, doesn't it?
and not just that, like it's like knowing the ending of the movie without watching the movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like you don't want to know the ending. You know how long it took me to watch Backlash because I couldn't watch it
yeah. You,
live. I
you,
was
you don't
off.
want to know. Yeah, it's like
I,
Scooby Doo. You don't want to know the alternate endings. You know.
yeah, like I was off social media for like 2 days.
I
Like
know.
I was holding myself back to
Mm.
not watch anything. I'm like, oh, no, I don't want to. I don't want to until watch Backlash. I'm like, okay, I can breathe now. You know what I mean? But and I had a lot of messages, and then I realized. But it was like, even that, like, it's fair enough, but there's no need to pull the curtain that much. I think they're taking it too far. It sucks at some point
Yeah.
because you don't want to know the ending of it. You don't want to know what, because the things with this series, what it looks like is gonna happen. You're gonna know where things are going. So we're gonna know John Cena. Like John Cena's been talking about why, and The Rock has been talking about why John Cena is doing what he's doing. Why John Cena is doing it.
Yeah.
Like, why just let me enjoy it and tell me after John Cena retires?
Yeah. Agreed.
You know what I mean? John Cena retires and then tell me, oh, this is why he did it. Let enjoy the moment. He's doing a great heel moment now. So I don't know. I'm gonna be on the fence on this show. I don't know if I'm gonna watch it straight away or I'm gonna wait a certain amount of time before I watch and it comes live.
Yeah. Yeah. I get you.
Because yeah, it's just gonna kill a lot of what we've been talking about, it, which we like to do, fantasize. We like to do fantasy booking.
Exactly.
We like to
Yeah. Yeah.
not know
Fantasy
what's
booking. We
happening.
love it.
We
Exactly.
don't. We like not to know what's happening because we know what's happening. Is kind of like a bit. What's the point of me
Yeah.
watching what's gonna happen next? I don't.
Exactly.
And I already lived that with with Vince. I already lived that fact of what the fuck am I gonna watch if I know what's gonna happen next week because you're gonna fuck it up.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to live that again, man. I want to enjoy the not knowing and being fantasy
But
booking
they're not
and
going to
being
tell us
watching
what's
things
going to
die.
happen in the future. They're going to tell us what's happened in the recent past. So, in that sense.
But still, it's too close for me, too
No,
close.
I don't disagree with you. I don't.
But yeah, I want to talk about that, and we got time to talk about the tag team women's title, which is Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez going against Taya Valkyrie and no one else but the men Becky Lynch, back in business, back in wrestling.
I
Um,
think I think I was the only person in that stadium that didn't know that Becky was coming out because I didn't see when Bailey got attacked. I mustn't have been looking up at the screen, or I must have been getting a beer or something because I
no,
didn't see it.
she was attacked before, like the night before. Like I think it was in SmackDown or something.
Well, I was at that SmackDown.
So
I didn't see it. So I
you
must.
missed that promo. It
Yeah.
was just that
Yeah.
promo in his little.
Mm.
So she comes in, wins the title, and I did say it. There's only one reason why she's going to win the title,
Of course.
and I called it, and it happened
The next night, and
the
everyone was
next night.
calling for it. Everyone was saying, "Come on, Becky, just do it, do it."
Yeah, he
Myself
was so
included.
obvious. But yeah, they win the title, which was, of course, Liv and Raquel lose it because of what Liv is gonna happen, where she's going now. She's going
Yeah, but
off,
then they got it back
and they got it back, which is really weird. Um,
because she's not
eh,
gone for that long.
not going for that long, but yeah, that was okay match. It was short to what needed to happen.
Yeah.
It was more for Becky having her moment with Kira. Then we got Stone Cold Steve Austin coming in with hitting the fans and a fan going crazy.
I'll tell you a funny story. I'll
What?
tell you a funny story, and I have to make it really quick because we've got less than a
Really
minute
quick,
until
yeah.
we get cut off. I went to the toilet to do my business
Yeah.
because I'd been drinking a few beers, and as I'm standing at the urinal, I hear glass shatter. I hear,
Like,
"Toom."
nah.
And I turned around, and there's a guy like two urinals down, and we both said it. Fuck! And we just ran back up to the stairs.
You
Like I
guys,
did get to see him, which was great,
okay.
but I missed this glass shattering moment. And my wife was texting me. She goes, "Hurry up, Stone Cold's here."
And then he did a few laps, hit the fans. One fan went all
Yeah,
crazy trying to sue the was like, she fell off like
yeah,
2 seconds later. But anyways,
yeah.
good to see Stone Cold Steve Austin saying there was 63,226 people
Mm,
at that night, which brings the
yeah.
total. I don't remember what the name of total is. But yeah, that we got today. We're gonna get a pause and then we're gonna come back to talk about